Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we're going to be talking all about Makbet.
Makbet, one of the greats.
It is one of the greats. Just as kind of a point of interest before we jump in, I was doing some reading about Makbet recently.
Okay.
And I came across this little tidbit from the Folger Shakespeare Library. They were talking about The Tempest.
Okay.
And how there's that, that section where Miranda talks about Caliban's attempted rape. And how some editors, later on decided that it was improper for a young woman to be talking about that. So they gave the lines to her father.
Oh, wow.
Prospero.
That's fascinating. It really speaks to, how interpretations or sensitivities change over time.
It really does. It makes you wonder how future generations are going to be reading Shakespeare, a couple hundred years from now.
Yeah. What are they going to think about the things that we take for granted or that we're okay with?
Absolutely. So Makbet.
Makbet.
We're talking about ambition and power.
Yes, power and the dark side of human nature.
So give us the setup here for people who may not know.
Okay, so imagine Scotland, right? A land of, battles and intrigue. And our main guy, Makbet, is this brave general.
Okay.
He's well-respected. He's out with his buddy Banquo. And they encounter these three mysterious figures. We call them the Weird Sisters.
Okay.
They're witches, essentially. And these witches, they deliver some prophecies. And these prophecies change Makbet's life forever.
Okay, so prophecies, I'm already intrigued.
They are prophecies.
Yeah, what do they tell him?
Okay, so they tell him that he's going to become the Thane of Cawdor and eventually the King of Scotland.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And Banquo, they tell him that his descendants will be kings, but he doesn't get any immediate power.
Okay.
So right away, Makbet is like, wait a minute, I'm going to be king.
Yeah, that's got to mess with your head a little bit.
It really does, right? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
And then shortly after this, Makbet actually becomes the Thane of Cawdor, just as the witches predicted.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's starting to come true.
It is starting to come true.
That is wild. So now it's like, wait a minute. Do these witches actually have power? Are they influencing events?
That's the question, right? Like, are we seeing fate play out or is this free will?
Yeah.
It's a question that hangs over the entire play, and this is where Makbet starts to go down a dangerous path. He's gotten a little taste of power.
That's all it takes sometimes.
And suddenly he's hungry for more.
Yeah, and I bet Lady Makbet has something to say about that, too.
Oh, Lady Makbet. She's a whole other conversation.
Oh, I'm sure she is. So let's talk about some of these key players that we really need to keep in mind as we're going through this.
Okay.
So who are the big ones?
Well, we got to start with the Weird Sisters, right? Because they kick off the whole thing.
Yeah.
The play opens with them chanting this famous line, "Fair is foul and foul is fair."
Okay.
Right away, we're thrown into this world where nothing is as it seems.
Yeah.
And, they represent darkness, chaos, the supernatural.
They're not just your friendly neighborhood fortune tellers.
They are not.
Yeah.
Right? They're unsettling, and they keep us guessing throughout the entire play.
Okay.
Are they messing with Makbet? Are they agents of fate? Who knows?
Okay.
And then you have Lady Makbet, who's often seen as this really ambitious and ruthless character.
Yeah.
One of the most chilling parts is when she asks the spirits to unsex her and fill her with cruelty.
Yeah. That's a powerful line.
It really is. It makes you think about her motivations and how far she's willing to go.
Yeah. And the role of women at that time, what it meant to be a woman and how she felt so constrained by that.
Yeah. And then there's Makbet himself.
Right. He's the title character. We got to talk about it.
He's the man. He's a war hero, but he's got this ambition inside him, and that prophecy, it just fuels it.
Yeah.
He's hesitant at first, tormented by his conscience.
Of course.
Because we're talking about killing the king.
That's not an easy decision.
It's not, and we see his inner turmoil in that, "Is this a dagger which I see before me?" soliloquy.
Yeah, I was going to bring that one up.
It's so powerful the way Shakespeare uses imagery to show Makbet's mental state.
Absolutely. Okay. So we got the witches lurking in the background. We got Makbet and Lady Makbet with this plot brewing.
Uh-huh.
What happens next?
Well, Makbet does the unthinkable. He murders King Duncan in his sleep.
Oh, my goodness.
And it all goes downhill from there.
I can imagine. What happens right after?
Chaos, suspicion, Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain. They run away.
Oh, no.
They're afraid for their lives. And Makbet, he takes the throne.
Well, that makes sense.
But he's not happy. He's consumed by guilt and paranoia.
Yeah. It's like as soon as he does it, he realizes, oh, this is a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be.
Exactly. And it just gets worse from there.
Oh, boy. So that's where we're going to pick it up next time.
That's where we'll pick it up.
Okay, everyone stay tuned. Okay. So we left off with Makbet becoming king, but things aren't exactly sunshine and roses for him, are they?
Not even close. One of the things that Shakespeare uses so effectively in this play is the motif of blood.
Oh, yeah? How so?
Well, at first, right, it's associated with honor, with Macbeth's bravery on the battlefield. But after he kills Duncan, it becomes this symbol of guilt.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. It's like you can't escape it.
Exactly. It's everywhere, like literally and metaphorically. And there's that unforgettable image of Lady Makbet, trying to wash the blood off her hands.
Yeah, out damn spot, right? It's like the guilt is so strong it manifests physically.
Exactly. Shakespeare is a master at showing us those inner psychological states through these really vivid physical actions.
So Macbeth is king, but he's clearly troubled. And I'm guessing there are some challenges to his rule.
You bet. Remember those witches' prophecies?
Uh-huh.
Well, one of them was that Banquo's descendants would be kings.
Right, right.
And this really starts to eat at Macbeth. He doesn't have any heirs of his own. So what does he do?
Oh, no.
He decides to get rid of Banquo and his son, France.
Wow. So he's really going down a dark path here. It's like one crime leads to another.
That's exactly it. He's trying to control everything, but it's just making things worse.
And it all kind of comes to a head, doesn't it, at this big banquet?
Oh, yeah, the banquet scene.
Tell me about that.
So Macbeth is holding this grand feast, right, surrounded by his court, trying to project this image of power and stability. But he's haunted by the ghost of Banquet.
I get chills just thinking about that scene.
It's one of the most famous moments in the play. Macbeth completely loses it. He can't hide his terror from his guests.
So everyone sees that something is deeply wrong.
Oh, yeah. It's a total public breakdown, and it's a turning point in the play. From here on out, Macbeth's mental state just gets worse and worse.
It's like by trying to defy fate, he's actually brought about the very thing he feared.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then we have this other character, Macduff, who emerges as a real threat to Macbeth.
Yeah, Macduff, he was a little bit of a mystery to me. What's his deal?
Well, Macduff is suspicious of Macbeth from the very beginning, and he's not just running away to save himself. He goes to England to join forces with Malcolm Duncan's son.
Oh, okay.
They're putting together an army to take down Macbeth.
So while Macbeth is going crazy, Macduff is planning his revenge.
Exactly. It's a great contrast. And then things get even more intense when Macbeth finds out about Macduff's plans.
Uh-oh.
He orders the murder of Macduff's entire family.
Oh, my God. That is brutal.
It is, and it really solidifies Macbeth as the villain of the play.
No kidding. So now it's this epic showdown brewing, right? Macbeth versus Macduff.
It is, and those prophecies we talked about, they play a huge role in this final confrontation.
Oh, yeah? How so?
Well, Macbeth believes he's invincible. Remember the apparition said no man of woman born could harm him?
Yeah, and that he wouldn't be defeated until Birnam Wood came to Dunsinane.
Exactly, and those prophecies seem pretty impossible to fulfill, right?
I mean, how can a forest move?
Well, that's where Shakespeare gets really clever. As Malcolm's army is approaching Dunsinane, they cut down branches from the trees of Birnam Wood.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So technically, Birnam Wood is moving.
Exactly, and it completely throws Macbeth. He never saw it coming.
Oh, man. That's good. And then there's that whole thing about no man of woman born.
Right? During the battle, Macduff reveals that he was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Wait, what does that even mean?
It means he was born via C-section. So technically...
He wasn't born in the traditional way.
Exactly. Macbeth has been tricked again. Those prophecies weren't what he thought they were.
Wow. So his world is just crumbling around him.
It really is. He's lost everything, and in that moment, he realizes how badly he's been misled.
Man, that's got to be tough to swallow.
It is. And now he's facing his own death, knowing that it was all for nothing.
So what happens in that final fight?
Well, Macbeth fights Macduff with everything he's got.
But he knows he's doomed?
Yeah. There's this sense of desperation, but also a kind of acceptance of his fate.
Wow. So how does it end?
Well, I don't want to spoil everything, but let's just say that Shakespeare gives us a resolution that's both tragic and satisfying.
Okay. I can't wait to hear about it. All right. So we've seen how Macbeth's ambition ultimately led to his downfall. But, even though the play ends with his death, it leaves us with so much to think about.
It really does. Like those big questions about ambition, fate, free will, guilt, they stick with you.
Absolutely. And, we were talking earlier about those witches and their prophecies. It seemed like they kind of set Macbeth on this preordained path.
Yeah, but at the same time, he made choices along the way, right? He had free will.
He did. So it's like Shakespeare's asking us, how much control do we really have over our own destinies?
Right. It's not a simple answer. And I think that's what makes Macbeth so powerful. It doesn't give us easy answers. It makes us think.
It makes us grapple with these really complex ideas. And for me, it really highlights those moments in life where you feel like you're at a crossroads.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Do you follow the path that's laid out for you, or do you forge your own path?
And what are the consequences of each choice?
Exactly. And in Macbeth's case, it seems like that path of ambition, especially when it's not guided by morality, leads to destruction.
For sure. The play is definitely a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power. We see how Macbeth's ambition twists him, turns him from this respected leader into a paranoid tyrant.
And it's not just him who suffers either. I mean, Lady Makbet too.
Oh, absolutely. She's so determined at first, but the guilt eats away at her.
It literally drives her mad.
It does, and it shows that power gained through immoral means, it comes at a huge cost.
Yeah. There's a price to pay for going against your conscience, for violating those moral principles.
Right, and I think that's a message that's still relevant today. We see it all the time, people in positions of power who lose sight of what's right.
Yeah. But, we've talked a lot about the negative side of ambition. I wonder if Shakespeare is saying that all ambition is bad.
That's a good question. I don't think he's saying that ambition itself is evil. It's more about the motivations behind it.
Like Macduff, for example.
Exactly. He's ambitious too, but his ambition is driven by a sense of justice. He wants to restore order, protect the innocent.
Right. His ambition is about serving a higher purpose, not just personal gain.
So maybe Macbeth is urging us to examine our own ambitions. What are we striving for? And are we willing to compromise our values to get there?
That's a really powerful thought. And it makes you think about the leaders in our own world. What drives them? Are they motivated by greed or a desire to serve others?
It's a question worth asking, I think. And that's the beauty of Shakespeare. His plays are still so relevant centuries later.
They force us to look at ourselves and the world around us in new ways.
Absolutely. And I think the more you engage with Macbeth, the more those layers of meaning reveal themselves.
It's been an incredible journey exploring this play with you. It feels like we've only scratched the surface.
Me too. There's so much more to discover.
So to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, fair is foul and foul is fair.
Until next time.
Thanks, everybody.